Hina Matipa Lamrim Chosa. What there on this that Rasun? That take Shiji and Gaja, music Shiji there. Taking Kisan Bishi Sun Saro, Luna Kisan Jayam Hanaji Sumba, Jensa. Chukata Kala Wang, Tetate, Shisa. Tetate, Losa Joro, Shisa. Ne, Dajita Jachichu Napa. He, you think Changwa, Tini, Gaja Tatu Ting Sata. Sanjamala get the social loosely. Chukata Kala in a dishes, Tasaki Joro. Tetan, Chichu Naba, Lagit in Jachu Naba. He didn't Changwate. He been Gaja Tatu Bating Sunshas, this one do. Then Denzi maybe this he on the says that. What about usual? Tiabudula.
Oh, got it. Okay, we're continuing with what we started towards the beginning of the month, which is on this section of having to do with the Prajnaparamita, perfection of wisdom, from the Lamrim. So here we've been looking at the refutation of the two types of the self of persons and the self
has left the conference.
The self of phenomena. And so here, where we left off last week, was where there's a quote from Ketsung Jambayang, who wrote an aspirational prayer in which he presents this process as the close examination of such conventions as the things that we call this or we call that. So whenever we're using terms like this or that, if we examine it carefully, we'll find that those terms, this or that, are actually sort of an overkill. They're going way beyond what we have any way of really understanding. So they're just terms which cover a great deal of things beyond the simple basis of imputation. And they both assume the existence of something, that is to say, the true existence of something beyond the mere basis of imputation. And as we saw last week, the basis of imputation is whatever sort of relative phenomena it is that we are looking at and that we are naming with conventional terms and assuming ignorantly that those things truly exist. So when we speak of the object of refutation, which of course is the point of engaging all of this material, and if we are going to realize the selflessness of the person or of phenomena, we have to see exactly what is it that we are refuting there. So this basis of imputation, then, we're not refuting that. We're refuting the sense of the true existence of something else, which is called this or that. And so there's term this or that or whatever we call something is overlapping the basis of imputation. In other words, it's going beyond that. It's saying it's attributing some truly existent entity to the basis of imputation. And that overlap is the object of refutation by this process of logical analysis. So that's what Ketsun Chambayang is concerned with in his aspirational prayer, that may we stop just assuming conventional realities to be actual realities, and stop in this way grasping or holding tightly on to true existence, assuming that there's true existence there and holding on to it, and in such a way that we create our own false reality. And all of us ordinary beings are doing that all the time whenever we designate something as this or that. Lasso.
Lasso. Tatene Dehan de Ngu Masen Bang Gada Dedu Si Goju Sodu Yoba Nguzuni Sututa Dedu Chi Sedashi Sala Omi Yuni Subi Jiba Amambo Si Ki Sa Chizang Juku Jejang Si Chizang Suni Rajan Suta Gaja Dedu Rajan Suni Denze La Chia Menesa Menegis Gaja Rambo the Cha Mayeba Ngao Habin Gaja Saba he said, Look, Ginny, that I Chiba Chinawa, do you get down to the race? Dona is a cheese shank, Suman, Raja Susi, Nala, Hoa Chassi, the cheese shank swing, Raja Susila, Stata in Hoa Chassin de Diligent, Tajin Gaja, Hansu, Jen meters. Susi Shiba Tansila, Mariba, living Ogi, you know, Chi and Hana, Damba Hani Chedesa. He soon but that Raja Tami Banala, Lada Pumbo. Rero conscious of Chukata Kan, Haya, go to Hon that the hand even Hon Gahi chatted. Hon by his chatted. Chat this one he never halas, and this one he never met her, said you are me by Chatachi, never Hayana. Rari, Suchi Lola, Hon Gasha, Tansi, Gada Marine, Hansi Chicha maybe. Rarin Hansu de Rang Radige Halunde. De Rangsa, the guy Rang Gaja in Hasu Long, Gaja in Hasu Long, then do Hasu Yensa. Gaja in Hasu, then do Hasu Yensata. Whatever did you have to?
Well, now, at this point, the text says that when we are seeking to understand what is that object of refutation, and then to, of course, refute it, so that we cease the conventional process of creating reality by imputing true existence to a world in which nothing whatsoever truly exists. When we engage in this, it's warning us right up front about the problem of learning the terms and then using those to refute a false reality while we still cling to the underlying sense that things truly exist. So it's sort of a subtle point that's being made here, that when you learn these basics of the Madhyamaka system and how it seeks to get rid of this object of refutation through logical analysis, the tendency is to learn all the proper words so that you can say that this or that exists only conventionally, and that that nothing truly exists, and so therefore you go through this process of analysis only verbally. In other words, you get caught up in a new paradigm, a new convention of designating things to exist conventionally but not ultimately. And so you have this sort of conceptual grasp of it. At the same time, your underlying reality is still being determined by your clinging to the true existence of the person and of phenomena. So your analysis has to go much deeper than that, and you should avoid just learning to be skillful manipulating the Madhyamaka terms without getting at the underlying point of this dialectic. That's all.
Gaja Ransile Ransu Jan, yes, no Gaja Chu Gaja Kanle no Gaja Getinichi Chiorwa. You and the satisfying Yachivan, Tata Ribuji. Tata Rari Lucin Gashis, Rari Lucid no Gaja Suji, that's 20 or the second Gashis. Sutu Denduso Dalla Sheni, Sutu Tuba, never to Dalla Sheni, Hawa Lini, the Ransu Jan is it. Tata Shandiagi, how long? Never to be Hamad, Ransu Jani, Gaja Rajin, he saw on Gaja City, Rago and Kenda Shugan, which is 200 Chiva Chak Lucy. Gaja Rajin, she saw on hard to say. Pena did Amai, she written Lala Niti, you came Medusa. Jenga Mahibi, Hishe Mana, Amagabo, te, to do Duko Sachesa. Tishan Gaja Rajin, saw on hard to say. Pena did Amai, she written. Divided to me, dear me, Amai, you came to Sinani, Digmaro. Said Ninga, my baby, he said, Ninga, my tea with them. Mama, he said, Mama, I'm give what to do, I'm give what Gaja Lad Grace and Gaja music has a Lad Grace, and Gaja since you Mazana, to need to do Maro. Ninga, my baby, she said, Mana, I'm give what to do, Dugo, I'm give that Gaja to do Dugo, he is no by gentle. You need cheese. Chenmo trains at the Mahibi, so Jigris at the Lucerta.
Yes, the Losan Chuki Gansen in the Songore.
Long Chi is too soon swallow. And then the Pataja you put the Kiji long swallow. Long Chi is swell, just as one. And the you get the Tana you put the Jushan what they need and the Manson. Long Chi Rancha, Suchilata in how I chasing this raw. Diligently touching Gaja Hansi, Jen or Maris. Tyrone Handy other was touching Gaja, so you Jen or Maris, Yarata. Suji Shiva Tansi, to name of the Cosinla, Maribi, Sebi, Oki, Hong, the one who Tana listen, Maribi Oki, the one who Tana listen. She's what a Taranta, Tami Banala, Data, Pumbo, Ro, Kankisu, Chukata, Kanhaya. Constitution Hota, then hand deep in Hong Bakis, Constitution Hota, then hand deep on Hong, he to name of the Colan, Constitution Hota, then hand digit that no. Then hand deep in Hong Bashi Chatesa. Then hand deep in Hong by Chaka, what the number deep charge you might like. That to need to secondly, the Mahaju Chates, Chatesa he, never Holasa. This time he never Mahas, Yama, this time he never Hogget that. Hagamaris says, you maris one, to name a duke on the car, such never hungry. Chukayan Hon, this I never did call Dema Matuanta, Dema Han, not Dema Han Grace. Menasaji, you are me about Chatashi in the Dema Han Nas. Rari Susi, you Rari Suji Lasata, Tunemato Sila. No Kasha Tashi Gajata Madi, Hansi, Chichami. Suji Latin, Haka, China Gajata Madi, Hansi Chicha, your Maris one. Maybe Serata Gajata Madi and Dema Mahashi, your Maris, maybe. Ralin Holun de the guy runs and Gaja Hasidi. Rally get the Yun Holun the guy run, Gaja Hasi longs and Gaja Hasi race one. Hasla, the illusion Hasi is Gaja Hasi in Adriana, the Hasi race one, Hasi yesterday. The need Rasa Jani, Jinsi Gaja see in Yachiva. There are Gaja Hari at the Rasa Jani, Kajata Majua, the Yajin Gaja never can sing Yachiva. Trying to this one of his at the United. To tell Jim to Jerusalem. Chai Ribu take it, Jonata. Gaja the Chili, but Ransushani, and you Gaja the kind of the Gaja music, Chibade, and the Madison. Take Hijere, Chai Ribu. Tata Rai Lucy Gashi and Lucita, Seni but the security, Lucy Gashi. Sutu, they do Sutu Tubas, Damba Tuba, Su Dalla Shene, take Dalla Shene, take it to the next son of Shene, Hawa Lili, the Ransujan, Damba Tuba Hong Lili, Tabari Honda, Terran Gaja Rajin so hard to say, did it? She Gaja has a Rajan, Rago, you can sugar and just hung the Shiva chat this with him. Tell you my double funded that is, got funded Gaja. Then hot and it did that delay at the next and the cookies, no one. Hot the penna, did the Amai Jiri to Nasan. Devoted the Amagashiri, Amagaduma, Tungua. Lala Nini, the Yuki Medusa. Lala Niki, Yuki the Medusa. Nengama, he must sit on. Ninga Mahi Pitin, Ninga Mahi Shishi the Monane, Ama Gambo to do to go, Ninga Mahi Shishi Momoina, Ama Gambo, got a never to the turn, and then Miss two miles a research your at it, to the train, Gaja Numazo Gaja, they do never to say no matter, they may also your Martin, 2 miles a take Kisha at the time. Ninga Mahi Shishi Mona, Ninga Mahi, here Mobanana, Ama Gambo to Ama Gambo said Gaja Sunday. To don't do cosa. He is so much to Jenny Chi Sata. Chi Chen Lama de Mangati, Chi Chen Lami Manga, Nagi Chen, Sergeant Sundi, at any touching of Ludi Himutaba Kichesa, touching some Ludi Himutaba Kitchen with this one, let's attack the motto, young is done Puncho Marison Sally. That's the guy you're going to see Jewish.
Well, that's it.
Think I didn't do a Gala to him.
Oh, that's it. Okay, so we're being warned then to understand that as long as we keep things in the realm of mere conventional ideas and words, then we will never realize the object of refutation, and therefore we will never be able to understand or have the realization of the lack of true existence, or to put it another way, we will not realize emptiness, which is what we are seeking here, because it is the direct realization of emptiness that liberates us from the cycles of birth and death. So here, how do we avoid that? We avoid it first by coming to some understanding of what the problem is, and that problem has to do with the fact that as ordinary beings, everything that we perceive is a mixture of the conventional, or the conventional reality, which is the object of, which is the basis of imputation. In other words, what actually exists in conventional reality, what actually arises as a result of causes and conditions. We mix all that up, sort of like almost irretrievably, we mix it up with our grasping to true existence. So we assume everything to truly exist, everything which we perceive. All of these bases of imputation are seen as truly existing. And so the use of this logical analysis through terms, through understanding what is the object of refutation and so forth, as long as that is in the realm of speech, then or that is to say words and concepts, then we're still just imputing true existence onto sort of a new set of terms and concepts. And everything remains in this sort of realm of words and sort of completely theoretical. And nothing is truly changing in the way we perceive reality. And so we still are caught up in the illusion there. What we have to do is find a way to allow the object of refutation to arise itself, rather than designating something as the object of refutation, and then it just becomes another part of our designated or conventional reality. We have to look directly in such a way that the object of refutation will, so to speak, of its own accord arise before us. So the problem is that all of us ordinary beings are working with sort of a system that's already fixed. And that is to say, our consciousness is mixed up with what's called fundamental ignorance. And it's that fundamental ignorance which assumes all things to truly exist. So even when we engage in a process of logical analysis, we're doing so from the point of view of assuming everything to truly exist. And so everything we look at, whether it's our self or the aggregates that make up the self, or the mountains and the hills and the houses and the buildings and the trees, whatever we see, they appear to us as ordinary people in a way where their appearance is this mixture of the relative or conventional truth and true existence. So that's what we're having so much trouble separating this relative truth, in the sense that these things do exist in the relatively conventional truth, but the true existence of them is something which is extra and is imputed upon them, and which is completely false. And when we try to make a distinction there between that which exists conventionally and that which truly exists, we have no way of doing that, of making that distinction, of dividing that up, because everything appears to truly exist. Or to put it another way, our basic way of perceiving things is of a world of things which truly exists. You have then the object of refutation all mixed up with the conventional reality. And therefore, the way things appear to us is exactly the way the object of refutation appears. That is to say, the way things seem to exist as true would appear. If things truly existed, the way they would appear is the way that reality appears to the ordinary person. So this is why it becomes so difficult, or rather impossible, to realize this lack of true existence, to realize emptiness through words. You just can't do it. You can come to a general sort of theoretical understanding by studying these teachings of the Madhyamaka, but that's not going to change your basic ignorance and your clinging to the things of this false reality. So in order to actually be able to separate that object of refutation from the bases of imputation, and to get rid of that sort of underlying spontaneous or compulsive clinging to things as truly existing, you need to engage in a sort of a larger process which involves this meditation that is based upon a sort of a transformation of your way of relating to reality. And what this requires is what has been taught from the very beginning in the Lamrim, the twofold process of amassing merit and getting rid of defilement. So the more you're able to amass merit and get rid of defilements, the more reality will start to appear to you as it actually is, rather than in this false conventional way. But then to make that great leap from the ignorant, sort of ordinary conventional way of seeing things to the way of someone who is becoming liberated depends upon the precepts and sort of personal instruction of an authentic teacher, a spiritual teacher, who can help you distinguish that. But first you have to have the merit and the freedom from or elimination of a lot of your defilement. And then you can engage in the meditation guided by the precepts of the teacher, so that you will gradually become able to identify the object of refutation correctly. And then it said that these teachings, which we're going over now, about that come from the Madhyamaka philosophy, these will become so powerful at that point that they will, they say, cause the great mountain of your ignorance to crumble into dust, and you will then directly perceive emptiness, not through concepts and words, but through your direct perception. And never after that will you be fooled by the false perceptions of conventional reality.
Hola so. Tang gaja chumi sing se putwas no. Gaja dengani gama tu senda bada chuba yba yabu ngi si tu bachona. Tendi ji tensi tabu riba chi gi tanya dene ro ta yin yan tha da lo ne. Tuni to bala kangen chuni me se yesu ta. Yila ro la. Gaja de Yabuji Nusin, Gaja the Kabbalah, can you some do it? Tendi Ribi Tendi Tensio, Tendi Tajitin, Yamaru to be Ribachikistania, and then Gaja Rosa in a talo to Rismuri. She's not Rosa on a Tawachini, Tuni Tobala, Kangemi series at Nutobala Kangi Yamas. Then I started to the channel and machine the soon shot him. Sugu do the chicken on answer, Sugu, my God, Sugu, chicken on Ryan answer. She to money tiring bone, Sugu Medusa. Chicken rather than hate the neighbor Sunta. Too much tiring Sugu Mari, chicken rather than hating the Kadini, your body, Rata, Gada in a rather than hating your body. Tuni hating your body. Sugu Medusa, chicken Ryan answer. And she to money the tiring bone, Sugu Medusa, chicken rather than hating the neighbor Sunta. Chicken rather than hating that to money, hating Round chicken rather than hating never rata. The Gaja chicken out to your body. And then to near your body. Around the mud by them. The Basmus. Then Gajang is a chipping also, that Dini Gumpa Chow. And then Gajang is a chipping a little dog at Dini. That's the good of you, this come on, letting to touch you this one. Whatever the Jewish origin, huh? No Gajang even near Zoni Sari. Near Jiganala.
Well, that's all. Okay, so now what is presented is the description of, you could say, the subtle mind, which is able to make this distinction between what appears to the ordinary mind and what actually is. In other words, separate that object of refutation from the bases of imputation, and in that way see things as they actually are. So that requires a very subtle and discerning mind, and not our sort of coarse, conventional mind, which is always separating things into this and that and assuming them to truly exist. So this subtle mind is something which we all possess. And so we have to activate that. And again, the ways of activating it have to do with amassing a great deal of merit, getting rid of a great deal of our defilements, and relying upon the precepts and instructions of the qualified teacher. So then the reality can be seen as it actually is. So it's said that it's a mistake to search for this reality as if it is something far away or exotic or something like that, when from beginningless time it's always right there in front of you. So it is within you. You just have to stop sort of covering it up with the everyday distractions and so forth. And so this is where meditation comes in. And the meditation, again, guided by the precepts of the teacher and energized by your great collection of merit and freed of the distractions of the all of the defilements, then when you meditate, you should figure that you're going to be meditating on this for a significant amount of time, and meditating in a way which is continuous, not sort of on and off, but which where this is sort of who you are and what you do. You meditate for months or even years if necessary, and then when you finally really understand what is this object of refutation, the mere identification, actual identification of the object of refutation causes it to disappear, because it's never truly existed. It's just been something which you sort of created with your conventional mind.
올라서 다 내지나 니바 디레다 가장이 비니 처방이 비니세는 다 처방이 비니인데 빼나 하시바 진짜 단대선도 왔디나 니바 처방이 바네 제다라 하시바 진짜 가자이 되지 추미 롱올리 롱어로 살랑지 샤나 근데 인간제 니지 중이 나한테 다 나제 니지 중이 다스는다 나제 니지 중이 아시바 다 나한테 라히 두나 라지 풍부다 무지다 타데 강도 두고서 되니 가루 리제비 풍소바지 메시에사 지리 취대 연나 지다 도마 가루도 여기신 지라다 추나 지라다 쳐봐두나 지다 내가 연나 내가 지다 도마 가루도 여기비 쳐봐 타시비 근데 나한테 여신시 풍부다 라니지 라니 주비 지다 타데 가루 리 예미도 되니 가루 리 미신시 코메바 타시 나든지 봐 니반 레바네 처방이 비네리 소리 넨들라마네리 넨들라마스네리 네리자 마예 방이 바템부 마네지 빠도 고바자고 단데서 그래 처방이 비네시겐데 비남 레발로 지도 마두테 도마루 비세 도마루 지키벨 가그로 가자는 허디시 방가자 네바두 두세 야블로 샤수나 두신데 요샤 로 샤수나 드레이 나젠 해지 주이 나다 나젠 해지 주이 나 샤거 내전 해지 중에 내도 때리다 내도 자고 그랬어. 때 라이에 두나 때 라이에 두고 잡았어요. 라이에 두고 말했어. 모르데 그 라이에 두나 라이 풍부도 우지나 라이 풍부도 우지 두고려나 뭐 타이다 두고려. 그러나 나전 해지 미스라 라이로 라이 풍부도 나는 해지도 두고리 나나지도 두고리했어. 나나 타이도 두고리했어. 때 그야 가서 요 지단이 요나 지도 도마 가는데 지나 타이 가는데 그랬지. 지도 도마 가는데 그랬어. 지나 요나 지 그래요나 도마이 그래. 다디 그래. 토마토 요새 슈글에 하나 지그리나 또 지나 또 걸으면 이게 여바지가 말이야. 되는 게 내가 좀 요나요? 아니 내가 좀 지당 우 타데 강도 요 그랬어. 지다 요나 지다 때 강도 요 그래. 내가 좀 지다 강도 요 그랬어. 강도 요나 아니 때 많이 봐. 지다 강도 많이 봐. 부서 바지 세게 말했어. 근데 많이 바지 요 부서 바지 세게 말했어. 지나 이 세게 말아. 그러나 당연히 부서 바지 세게 말았던 게 강도 이제 부서 바 메시지 됐어. 제리 취도 연하상 제리 취도 요마이는 지다사 도마 가루도 여그로 와 연나지 여그로나 또 많이 그래 야 그래서 연나지 여그로나 또 많이 그래 질 하바주나 또 많이 잘 그러 제라 때다 쳐버두나상 제리 시잘라 때다 쳐버두나 제라 내가 연나와 지 냄비지다 내가 연나 내가 가루도 여그비 쳐봐 타시베 내가 야니야 내가 연나 지다 도마 가루도 쳐봐 제리 취래 요나지다 거리 저와 나기게 네버두바 자야 네버두바 요나 저거 쳐봐 그 지바레서 제가 네버두바 자나 강도 여기 쳐봐 타시비세 근데 이 생아데서 나데 다 네버두바 쓰지래 이 천시 풍보다 나이 두비 지담 이 천시로 풍보 나이 두바 지 그러나 풍보 나이 두바 탈데 가누리 이거 말이야 풍보 나이 두바 지 그러나 풍보 나이 두바 탈데 그러서 근데 이 mendu비세 드니 가루라 미체시 티라 미 풍보다 가누 탈데야미 지다 메나 다 메바 타슈 사다 거 요마스 메나 요나 지나 도마 간도 그래 지다 메 도마도 간도 메나 거 메바 타슈 하도 네바 네바 세상 타슈나 타슈 하도 네바 네바네 처방이 있네 다 처방이 있네 들이서 다 요나 지나 선대 간도 요거도 와서 네바 요나 지나 간도 요거도 다 지나 선대 다 네바 지나 다 간도 면도 다 메나 거 메바 타슈 사베 처방이 왔다 타슈 네바 자스나는 처방이 들이서 처방이 있네 이상 닌들라와네리 네리니자 많이 방이 받대고 많이 집어도 공부때 네 네래야 니 나마리니 많이 받지 니 많이 집어도 선톤에 공부해서 말이다. 가장이 비네 처방이 비네 한도시 공부시자. 디사야 티베트 주셔서 거졌다. 이 시비시 해야지부터 그걸 시비를 니사다. 차번에 내셨다.
Okay, so the meditation is necessary. So what do we meditate on when we get to that point where we can really devote ourselves to continuous periods of meditation? The process involves first sort of determining what are the possibilities when we look for this object of refutation. Now, remember, we're talking about first the selflessness of the person. Then we'll go on to the selflessness of phenomena. So when we say selflessness of a person, okay, the person is not being refuted here. We're looking for what is to be refuted. We're not going to just refute persons. We're looking at this self of persons. So we know that the self is what is to be refuted. And so when we do this, we have to decide or determine what are the possible ways in which the self can exist, the self of persons. So then in doing this, and again, this is a process of meditation. It's not enough just to understand it sort of intellectually, but you have to take this teaching and meditate on it. So what is the teaching? It is that if the self was truly existent, or as it's often said, if it were established by way of its own nature, then it would have to be either the same as the bases of imputation or different than the bases of imputation. And no third possibility exists. It has to be one or the other. It has to be either the same as the bases of imputation or different. And what are the bases of imputation of the self of persons? It's what we call the five aggregates. Because the definition of a person is that which is imputed on the basis of any one or more of the five aggregates. So we have to then decide, okay, is the self the same as the aggregates, or is it different from them? And we have to determine in our meditation, we have to get to the point where we realize the only two possibilities. Now, this is not sort of something you can just hear and say, oh, it sounds right. So you have to meditate on it over and over and over again in a very profound way until you realize if the self truly exists, it has to be either the same as the aggregates or different from them. And then when you have attained a state of certain knowledge with regard to that, then you can go on. If you go on before you have real certainty of that, then you're not going to get anywhere because you've missed the basic step. So the first basic step, the first fundamental here, is realizing that there are only two possibilities. The self is the same as its bases of imputation, the aggregates, or it's different than them. And so meditating on this for a few hours or for a day or two is not going to be enough. You have to keep on going consistently until your understanding of it is so deep and direct that your conviction is absolutely solid and unshakable. So once you've gotten to that point, then you examine those two possibilities. First, you examine to see how the self cannot possibly be the same. It can't be the same as the aggregates. And then we'll go into that. Then, of course, the other thing that you'll meditate on for a significant period of time is the meditation which determines that the self and the aggregates cannot be truly different. So it's only when you realize that they can neither be the same nor can they be different that you can then start to approach the realization of the emptiness of the self of persons, because you have first realized that it has to be one or the other. And once you have that unshakable realization, then you take them one at a time. And when you meditate continually on whether they can be the same, and you see that they can't possibly be the same, and again you attain this unshakable realization that the self and the aggregates cannot be the same, then you go on to the only other possibility is that they are different. And then when you meditate on that and realize that they cannot possibly be truly different, then, only then, this whole concept of a truly existent self starts to sort of fade away and disappear, and you're no longer enthralled to that great illusion of a truly existent self. That's all.
Awesome. Tande baru the shaggy ta chat no lo chiko.
That's all.
Ta chia lile chi ro ta pali khasum ta.
Okay, with that then we'll take our 15-minute break.
This is
Oh,
Robert's not there?
yeah.
Oh, it went in?
야, 다 riba. Konzu nde loro chi. Ta tarini sunshi tamana ba yin tenga sunshi che tuku mare. Nga pa jaga ndra yin si tanda ku pisa gondi ngarong ndi sare. Ka les na pan ruku sa tendi. Ko te loro chi.
Oh, lovely.
Karisna ngande churu te tansuna ndra yin. Tin sa tanda tarini sunshi di shuja yin. Ndi che tuku mare loro chi konzu.
That's all.
Mungaso.
So, Geshe would like to mention that he is now preparing for his trip to India. And so this will be the last Sunday morning class for a while as he'll be going to India. And his plans then will be set once he knows the exact dates and so forth.
So, Geshe La, we would like an opportunity to say farewell to you. If there's not going to be any more teaching, we'd at least like to have a dinner to see you off. Is that possible?
Kurang sal dikogide Geshe La mixel ge tukcho pulgire Suzi Shimbochik Kurang sal Dinde Lukso Yoi Duge
Sanga Shamatha insa himbucha cheo mare sagaji timisi tandir loro chi koche. Tena lusu yona tandir loro chi.
Oh, Duge.
Loss.
Okay. Well, Geshe says yes. If that is your local custom, then he would. I don't belong with it.
Good. We will try to plan something before you leave.
What's the date?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
다 주의키라면도 그들 저한테는 라고 하는 제루살렘 가면도
Oh, lovely.
대화는 노르지 대수스 당을 전에 지금.
Okay, so so at this point in the teaching, then it's probably best to stop here, and if there's anything you'd like to ask about, if you didn't have the full realization of everything that was taught this morning, then you're welcome to ask some questions.
I have a question.
Mr. Robert can hear you.
As we go through the contemplations and meditations on selflessness of persons and phenomena, as we become more more deeply, thoroughly aware of that selflessness, does the process of imputations arising fade so that we simply don't have those thought processes arise because of the certainty?
Yeah, okay. Nagasaki Dakme, Triki Dakme, La Yun Ringbo Gom Gyapna. Ne Daksin Kali Chungru Drogi Duge Dindre Duge.
Has left the conference.
그때는 누구랬어? 손질해서 야부터 가서 다시 다니 다른 것은 가장 무비해로 나진님한테 나지기 집어마도 주 다른 가서 다시 집어람 가지 다시 주 내비 다니를 주 다니 가서 내비 다니 가서 다시 로그로 아마게 집어리 하리키니 때때니서 때 단단 가서 강시에 밖에 가서 가자 근제 지어로 된 가자 근제야 좋다 내가 따때 이거 말아 때 라제 말이 봤다 하여튼 지긴다지 근데 거기서 쏘아 야부터 나 나네로 지든 갈게 잘 그랬어 된 dursan take dus 유선나 거탄도 지어 말이 맞도 시시네 딱한 시바데 티슬라는 따데 산토기 동기 지기는 텐데 잘 그랬어 소로지 야란 그랬어 산토기 동 파궁 전에 희지면 노스 저 맞투나 산토기 동기 나 뒤서 유지했냐 거 가자 나신데 지다 그 나진들이다 나네 지원들이 나진들이 지근데 미다 그 미바 이때이나야 너무 그런 젠들이 맞고 그요 말산 되게 야이 그랬어 가디네
근데 로보르도 여기래.
로기 지와 소소기 선나 실려다 들지 말도 로기 히에두고 말이다. 가디 지기 히에두고 말이다. 타이네 히부 삼바 때문에 히네라고 루지니 히네 두니 아니 파시는 가자 야부지 근세도 루지 군바이나네 때네 요즘 말이 맞도.
나.
일하고 요 말에 순나가 저기 쇼고 봐. 돈이 또 발라 순나가 저기 쇼고 맞도 일하고 요 말에.
Okay, so, well, it's not possible to say how the process plays out with any given individual. We can say that in general, what we're dealing with is a sort of a gradual process where the habit of falsely imputing true existence onto phenomena which do not truly exist, that this process has been going on from beginningless time, so it takes a while to sort it out and to remove it. And in your meditation, as you'll recall, we started with the teachings on how to develop shamatha. In other words, get that, train the mind to hold on to its object undistractedly for an indefinite period of time. And based upon that ability to meditate one-pointedly and continuously, then we can use that ability to focus the mind on this logical analysis. It is sort of this penetrating, critical process of thinking about all of the things that are involved in misperceiving the world as truly existing, both the self and phenomena. So then, with that, we start with the self of persons. That's a little easier, and then we go on to the self of phenomena. And so you are isolating the object of negation in each case and meditating on that, and as you look for it everywhere in this process of analysis, then you come to a point where you have looked at all of the possibilities and you've eliminated them all, and then that clinging to the true existence of self, of persons or phenomena, just gets weaker and weaker, and at some point it's gone and it's not going to come back again, because once you eliminate it, you have attained this state of freedom or liberation, from which you do not want to return to the ignorant way of perceiving reality, which is the cause of all the miseries and so forth. So you can say it's a gradual process, but when the insight comes, then it's hard to say. It might be like very, very dramatic, or very like a flash of lightning, but or it might be just like an opening up of a great door to a new reality or something like that. All sorts of poetic ways of describing it you can find.
And I just want to thank Geshe La for teaching in concepts and in by the experience of his presence. It's been very meaningful. Thank you.
I want to also, since I will be traveling to New York City. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you here.
Okay, I'll be traveling to New York City to see my son from the 9th, from the Thursday on through the 9th, and may miss the dinner. I want to tell Geshe La my profound appreciation and gratitude for all that is imparted to us. It has truly transformed my mind. It has started that process. And I also want to let him know that even though I am very busy in the world, I do plan to withdraw from it in about 4 or 5 years, if I'm able to, and to take the teachings further. And I appreciate the sacrifice he's made in coming here in our cold climates, and I will keep him in my heart and mind forever. Thank you.
Okay. Da Geshe La de Korang la driwa yo mai Korang. Geshe La da sung shu jene nala shida pemba che son, and tu che chi Maomba nga gom yap igen. Geshe ki Sungshe di Dang Tunbe gom yap igen. Da tuche New York la yopo drogore dene tukro la tuchena lev tukio mari na tuche kadrin chis shugi yore kora.
Oh, yeah. The Yabore Lology. They non at the Gunka Yabore in Samba Zombachi at Kishi Lology. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Geshe says, thank you for your kind words, and it's very good that you plan to take the teachings and meditate on them. That will be of great benefit.
Thank you.
I'll come back
Robert,
to
Robert,
my
Robert.
question that's a little bit more to the teachings. Are there indications in your meditation that you've come to a clear understanding of the two possibilities? Is there some sort of clarity that we should look for? I know that this is a subtle thing, but is there something that should give us indication that we've made good progress in this regard?
Geshe Dakme Tokbe Sherav Yopo Yongi Yomai in Shugyap na Kale Yong Sigidre Pelcher Yori in the Gom Gyap na Gom Yapo Yongyaki Tak Sen Dindre Duge.
That day, you Shine to Lalanji to in a Samat Nemo Chagarwa. Samat Nemo Chatane, Tuni Gitanda Gajal to Yabu Nane, Tuni Gugina, Yabu. My Tumbani to him, Damis Natuni Jibada, Lamashino, open no in a Lamashina Toba Yundre. Opo Tupula long shoot mother looking your mare, that's it. Oh, the chair Kanzakuro only in a Lamashina Tunitoba years. Oh, Tina, Tomutola Yashu, and in the Tunito get the Yorita. So long should be said Tabatoba, Tabashatner, Tabach Najula Katsino Tonata. Then you use some of your money, but it's young Sumarata, too much Higurama, Tibachum Maro, too much use some of you may but you Tabach in the Chagrota.
So Geshe says, well, it's very different for different people. It's hard to generalize about how this plays out. But now, as you understand that you need to first develop the power of shamatha to some significant extent before you can effectively meditate on emptiness or on the selflessness of persons and phenomena, then you can say that there are signs of success that come just with the development of the single-pointed meditation. The more you approach attaining shamatha, the more peaceful and clear and calm your mind becomes. And then as you actually attain shamatha, you get that what was mentioned before, the physical and mental pliancy, they call it, which is a very blissful sort of a experience. It's very powerful and blissful. So you have all those just from the side of the single-pointed meditation. And then when you practice the analytical meditation to develop the perfect insight into reality, well, that depends upon the individual's like the store of merit and their freedom from the various obstacles and delusions, and their the teachings they've received, and then most importantly on their own disposition and faculties. If there's someone of very sharp faculties, then they're going to be able to go through this whole process a lot quicker. If they're someone of very dull faculties, they can still attain this insight. It's just going to take them that much longer.
All right. Does anyone on the phone have any questions?
I have a question.
Please go ahead, Trey.
I'd like to ask about Vipassana meditation. It seems a little more clear to understand Shamatha, where you have this object that you're becoming more and more familiar with, and you're able to keep it in your mind without distraction, very comfortably. But when you're doing the analytical meditation, could Geshe La describe that process a little bit more in detail about what that actually is, and what's going on in your mind when you're doing that process once you have that object through Shamatha?
Yeah. So you're asking what is the Vipassana practice? How you do that, or I'm not quite sure of the question. This has been the topic for this last month. How to do the analytical meditation. Do you have a specific question about that?
Well, I guess my question is sort of experientially, what is it like? I mean, I can think about, if I sit down to try to comprehend some topic and understand it better, I can understand that process. Is that any different from Vipassana?
Then Vipassana? Yeah, that's what Geshe La has been covering, is Vipassana. The analytical meditation. See, we use different words, so maybe that's confusing, but it's all developing insight once you've attained the mental stability by cultivating shamatha. Then you can use that stability and focus to develop insight, or vipassana, which is sort of what's been talked about now with the searching for the object of refutation and so forth. So I'm not sure what I want to get your question right. That's just why I'm asking.
Can I throw in the word non-conceptual experience? Is that, are you asking about where the thought process ends and the experience sort of begins? That sense of transition where where the one-pointedness actually just sort of melts away, and you just start experiencing something, and your mind isn't actually thinking a lot. It's sort of a non-conceptual state, is what I understand it. Like the clear light mind, or the dharmakaya, or the accessing your most subtlest samadhi, and yet there's a lot of methods and means to do it, but I don't. That's all I can say. That would be my question, if that's what he's saying.
I think what you're saying, Anthony, is more or less what I'm getting at.
Okay, is there a question in there that I can ask then?
Can you ask him, is there the point where, when you're doing analytical meditation, is the point where it becomes non-conceptual?
Oh,
The
okay,
transition,
okay.
yeah, from sort of more of experiential rather than a thought or a mental elaboration, or where the elaborations cease and.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Like becoming more
I
intuitive.
think he's got it.
Yeah. Okay. Geshe Lharam so the driva self yomai.
Ale.
In culture, the drapore the flockton capsula, flockton the J-Park yena ngunsum yena. J-Park kang ngunsum di kebar duge.
니파 ngosuni cheba yodi. Tede cheba yoro. 니파 toba ingere ngosuni tomi cheba ingere kini be lokali seroji. 네 사통시야다 가르스나 신에게 구네 띵인제로와 띵인제 무 공부되네 삼바 때문에 해야 돼. 때 간래 띵인데 야부 공부 간래 아니 안주 수 찌바지네 찌바지 투야게 마타바 이메 깨지바 이메게 찌바지 때가 아니 나 두마로 찌바지 오네 찌바지비 히로들라 하통스 로그여래. 신에게 간에 찌바지 투기는 삼바 때문에 열어와. 되게 잘 하통스 그래. 하통라 싫어 이거 신내 띵인제 그래 그니 배 로카래.
Local.
해, 띵이제 공주도 왔다. 공산 동아야지. 사투에 찌바지야. 이 찌바지 괜찮아. 사투스 그. 싫어래. 뭐 싫어래. 신이 띵이제로 하고.
니tenyo네.
나 띵이제래 신이.
Right.
띵이제로 담다 뭐여로 띵이제 템보다 다 메테반지 템비 띵이제 니들 띵이제 사투에 연 사투에 다 나기 그렇다. 다 띵이제 템보 가는 사투 유의 찌바지는 담이라고 다 찌바지 온데 네 신에게 가 지원데 야부지도 그 삼바 템보 간에 찌바지기는 템보 용으로 산이 야부 리가지 리가 야부 구도 나오게 사투지는 힐라순데 디스네 힐라순데 띵이 진데 네 차거래
Then ngunsumdo nisumeba.
무슨다 니스메 봤네 무슨 남말에 무슨이 패치 다 패박 무슨 힌데데 뭔가 여기 니슌데 시그래 미기 좀 것은 통한 나 이게 다른 것이 도왔다. 자 예진 것은 세야데 통하라고 도와도 마도 남이 또 와이나 통화 도와도 마도 남이 것을 또고 말해. 통화 도와도 마도 네 초랑 것이야 남이 것을 남이 또게 또 두고 말 남이 것을 또 두고 말해. 초랑 것을 남이 또 유나 것을 남이 또 빌려야 공부분들 소사 디바살네 아니 유나리아 유나 추쇼 이시여로 유나 저 저바 추쇼 이시래 타마데 아니 다 돼지 시부 샤니 야부 차거 돼지 시부 샤니 바로 돼지 방것은 무엇으로 봐도 도나지 봤나네 돈는 것을 타나서 차는 거래니 이 그러 봐봐 차도 아리 그러 이제 나디야 도나 차도 아리 주나 다 도나 무을 돌았다 이 돈는 것도 됐지 들려지다 이 잡아 요리 잡아 거기서 요 말때
Right.
제바지 그러마도 그러나 주나 초나리아 초나 첨부 중심을 열어 나한테 뭐가지 주나에 저봐 주쇼요래 주나 주쇼래야 주쇼 숨이 챘는데 주쇼 중요한데 첨부 주쇼 첨부래는 돈이라 무슨 담이 산데 가서 담이래 돼지 나봐야 돼지 나봐 자게 돼지 나봐 샤네 돼지 베시시 그러네 야부찬에 돼지 바로 돼지 나봐도 무슨 무를 받았네 돈는 것을 남인 것을 또 받았네 돈아 더 받는 거 나랬다 대신 무슨 뭐르지 무던 시바야 무구를 했던 거지. 제가 또바이 돈자마도 무슨 미기 통하겠다 말해. 시바도 현 잡아요래. 라서 거치 대수시데 시수요 말해. 칸 러디 더블 해대. 강아지나 말이야. 연아 수수 이시 또바래. 수수 근데 봐 또바데 대시 시리 진짜 다 또바 그런 것은 뭐로 또 것은 뭐로 막 그냥 가가로 왔더니냐. 아니 야 고고고네. 또바데 파파르지 시시발 다시니 배운 것은 뭐 다하는 것은 하나서 남은 것은 샤오다 대신 것은 샤오되네 돈아 봐 잘래 그런 봐봐 잘래 그런 라 돈아 잘래 다더니 아대치 진이한지 통화 나자 얘기 봐진지 저 차도 진이 대지 유지 거든요. 알아서 기사 시작 가야네. 이거 한만 것도 돈 되는 것도 빌리 미리라 말이야. 내가 자게 그래. 무슨 도요 말. 야파도 나봐 자도 영어서 방고 올라를 지금 말도. 통화도 뭐 기다 말을 통화 기기 줄이래. 시바지 저바지 받치면 나리 시바지데 나리 나래다. 나 지소에 니코사니 지소네 파 제네는 로치니 가리나 발발실에 무 컴퓨터 들어네. 돈이 나바자면 나자 힘고 한도 야부시니 야 조조촌에 고날 필요했대. 나자는 고날 필요 고날 차거래. 고날 차도 고날 고바게 너무 여러 너무 내 진짜 주로 거에 고바 첨부 온디다 첨부라부터 내 내부지기 누구도 시바 줄여줘 고나 바차리 고나 바차리 나대 고나랬다 라고도 이미 돈이 단다 띵이도 가서 사도세를 넣지 그
Okay, so we're getting into some very extensive teachings here, which most of which will have to take place at a future time, because what we're dealing with is the process whereby we develop insight into the selflessness, or you could say into realizing emptiness. Now, this process, unfortunately, is very clearly laid out in the sutras and throughout all the shastras, because this is the main topic. This is what one does. This is what the Lord Buddha taught his disciples, how to go from the ordinary state of mind of the ordinary person who clings to a dualistic view of reality and is therefore caught up in the conventional world and never sees the ultimate truth. So they have to be brought step by step into this realization of ultimate reality. And that once they realize it, then they are freed from the illusions of the world and from the bondage and samsara, of course. So what this process consists of is gradual step-by-step processes that begin with the what's called the path of accumulation, where you're accumulating merit and you are getting rid of defilements, and then the path of preparation, where you are developing on the basis of all that merit and freedom from defilement, you are developing an analytical view, a critical view of reality rather than just the conventional view. And you're doing this through a process called inference, logical inference. And based on evidence, you have you come up with a correct inference about things, and this is what was discussed a bit today in the teaching, where you use the analytical process to infer the lack of true existence of the self of persons and the self of phenomena. But all of this is inferential, and being inferential, it's dualistic. It's based upon terms and concepts. And then as you develop a very clear and solid conviction in the teachings about the emptiness of self and of the self of persons and phenomena, then you meditate on that sufficiently, and you finally make this great leap from the dualistic conceptual view to the non-dualistic direct perception of reality. And the moment at which you do that is the moment you go from the path of preparation to the path of seeing, the darshana marga. When you reach that darshana marga, then you now perceive ultimate reality, or you, at least in your meditative concentration, you perceive the non-dual ultimate reality. Now, each one of those levels, or those paths of accumulation, of preparation, of seeing, has many subdivisions, and these are the stages. And when you finish one stage, then based upon the accomplishment of that stage, you are able to go on to the next one. And so if you become familiar with this by reading any of innumerable sources in Buddhist literature, when you become familiar with these stages and these paths, then you can see how that process goes and how you build up first conceptual inferential understanding, and then finally you get to the point where you have the non-dualistic direct perception of ultimate reality in the path of seeing. And then after that, then you meditate on it for a long time in the path of meditation to completely sort of internalize it and stabilize it and so forth. And then you become a Buddha after that. So all of this is something that you can get a lot more understanding and information on by reading any of these texts that lay out the Buddhist paths and the stages of the paths.
단데 로로지 컨솔라 hilani부터 통화가 줄이세 지르발라 요레세 지르발라 히도 히네 토야 요레 하동 토야 요레 지대비 hil라 요르와 히네 토도 모두 상땡이 더 두고 말해 히네 토발라 가르 그르스나 네비 너물라 차르치 네비 너물라 녀박 나라서 다른 녀박 run지발라 차바 라네발라 차바 대신보싱 때 차바 내ങ്ങൾ 차바 라바 능거죠 빵 그때 빵안네 얘네 구미세 토네 히네 토그레스 달로지 때 지르발라 요레 나바키리 이거 말해 지나 통화가 줄이 hilani bachidang ni ya lang le ja ni soma juna le ja na ta namba cha garo chi bal soma juna soma to yo sa mare te lo ro chi ko ye chi ba yo ma.
So yeah, I guess one adds that the process of developing shamatha, where you have the perfect one-pointed concentration, that is something, as was mentioned before, is not exclusive to the Buddhist tradition. This is something which exists in non-Buddhist schools of meditation, especially as are found in India, where people train themselves in one-pointed, undistracted focus on a meditative object, and they do attain those states of shamatha. So the Buddhist distinction is the development of the Vipassana, which is the insight into reality and the realization of the selflessness of persons and phenomena. And that is not found outside of the Buddhist teachings. And that is what frees us from the illusions of the world and allows us to attain the blissful state of liberation.
Well, toje da jagni. Ta che dise un caso nge che dise tiba caso ta konta.
Okay, so we'll stop here
Mucho
for dedication.
So there's a few things since Rinpoche or Geshe La is not going to be teaching again for a while that I would like to say. I hadn't planned on this, so I may be a bit disorganized. But first of all, Robert, thank you so much for your beautiful translations and your understanding of what Geshe La is teaching and making it so clear to us. It's hugely appreciated.
Oh, thank you very much, Ken. I appreciate the words.
So I also, for everyone, I want to thank Geshe La for his profound teaching. he talks and clarity comes out, and it's so very rare and special, and it's a wonderful thing that we've been able to receive from him, his teachings. So thank you so much, Geshe Lharam. We hope that you'll be able to come back from India and teach some more, and we wish you wealth and good travels.
Da Geshe Lharam Quran de sungire da Geshe Lharam Narang Sola Kadrin Chenmo Shudrai Gare. They me see Kadrin Chenmo Re Kuchichi. Dene da Yaga La Pebne da Sur Minnesota La Hebrona. So Guktegi and Sikidu. Da Hebrona Yonkar.
알았어. 다 들지네. 다 쉬듯이 신소 다 샤게 샤샤르지.